What's up, class? Today I want you to check out MIDI City. You can find it by clicking the link to the Google Classroom page that I have set up. If you don't have the Google Classroom code, visit the Chromebook landing page and you will find it on the specialist website. And you can always just type in midi.city in your address bar, or I'm sure it would work if you typed midi.city into Google as well. What MIDI City is, it's an online instrument that can be right in your Chrome web browser. You can have access to a drum kit. So you can see this purple section up top. These are your drums. And you also have access to different melody and harmony instruments. Right now, what you hear is a synthesizer. So the first thing we're going to look at is the purple section, your drum kit. So you can see these different images of drums, and then there's a number above each image, and that number corresponds to the key you have to press on your computer keyboard to get that sound. So if we want to hear a bass drum, you can press either 1 or 2. They're just a little different. We have snares on 3, 4, and 6. Number 3 sounds like it's a stick hitting just the edge of a snare drum. We have a clap on 5, and there's some other instruments, some cymbals, 8, 9, and 10, 7 is a tom. And if you want different sounds, you can go ahead and scroll over to the side, and you're gonna see that different sounds load. Now pressing 1 gets you kind of a high-pitched tom. So I'm gonna bring this back to the beginning. And what you can do if you don't like the sounds at all, you can change them by clicking right here where it says TR Kit. And you can pick any of these kits. Maybe a standard giant will sound, I assume, more like a traditional drum set. I'm gonna press back here. And if you don't wanna play on your own, even though you can definitely get lost trying to make a cool drum beat for yourself, you can press this play button up here and it's gonna play a pattern for you. Woo! Here where it says House 03, you can click this and pick a different pattern if you'd like. Maybe that pattern wasn't as cool as you think it could be, so maybe you can type Basic 09. Click Basic 09, and I'm just gonna click off over here, and that'll get you back to MIDI City. Now let's press play again. Ooh. I love that it lights up showing you what sounds are playing. If you think it's too slow, you can speed this up right here. This is BPM, beats per minute. Right now, if you were to count every beat, there'd be 80 of them in 1 minute. We could speed that up to 120 if we wanted to, and then there would be 2 beats every second. I kind of like that. I think it's going to be a little too fast for this tutorial, so I'm going to bring it down. I'm actually going to slow it down. Let's bring it to 60 beats per minute, where there's exactly 1 beat per second. Here we go. Press play. I think that's going to be perfect for our tutorial here. Now, I do want to warn you, sometimes if you're doing the drum set and using the melody instrument at the same time, sometimes that can be too much on your computer. It might crash the website. All you'd have to do is refresh the website. The problem is it's not going to save the different kits or the different patterns that you've set up for yourself. So you might want to keep in mind which sounds you're playing with. Now, if I press this section right here, this little caret, it's going to minimize the drum kit, but it's still there if we press play. Right? And it just gives me a little less to look at. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. Now let's work with the melody section or the harmony section. Harmony because it can play more than 1 note at the same time. We have a harmony here. We have a melody. 1 note at a time. So here the notes are set up like a piano, where these would be the white keys of the piano, and these would be the black keys. And they actually have the pitches, the letter names written on them. It's the non-bolded smaller letters. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And it continues on. There are the black keys, D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, D flat, E flat, and E flat. And then the bigger bolded letters, those are telling you which letters you have to play on your computer keyboard to get that sound. So I bet you can see that if you were to press this play button, you can have a drum pattern going as you're playing a melody or harmony. 2, ready, go. I was just kind of improvising something there. You might want to try improvising. Remember, improvising means you're making it up on the spot. So just play a drum pattern and have some fun exploring the different notes on your keyboard. If you don't like the sound that you are playing with, you can click right here where it says Polysynth Pads, and there is a world of sounds that you can explore. I don't know, goblins. I wonder what goblins is. Let's see. Okay. Maybe we could go to let's try piano, just a simple piano sound, acoustic grand piano. I like that, cool. And we have, for example, let's go to chromatic, percussion. Let's try a glockenspiel. Let's press glockenspiel and go back. Now that doesn't sound exactly like a glockenspiel like what you hear in music class, so I think it's because it's too low. If you were to take this bar and scroll over to the right, this is going to take you to a higher octave. I'm going to move it over so that C is still the lowest note that I see, but now it's a higher C. Cool. You could go one further to really get that glockenspiel sound. That sounds like a glockenspiel if you ask me. So you might want to explore this bar to get different pitches, high or low. So depending on the instrument that you choose, for example, if you were to go to brass and go to tuba, maybe you know what a tuba is, the big, huge brass instrument. That doesn't really sound like a tuba to me. I think it's because it's too high. We could bring it down here and play a really low note. That sounds like a tuba to me. Let's go to something more simple, a piano. Now I've chosen a simple acoustic grand piano sound. I'm going to press back here. Ooh, that's a nice low piano note. I'm going to bring it up maybe one octave here. I like that. And in the Google Classroom, I also gave you something else. I gave you this slideshow, which is easy piano songs. And I'd like you to try playing these once you've practiced exploring and improvising with MIDI City on your own. We have Mary Had a Little Lamb, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, If You're Happy and You Know It, The Itsy Bitsy Spider, and Old MacDonald. What I did on each one is I put the lyrics to each song. I put the corresponding notes that you would have to play, the pitches, in bold below the lyrics. And then I gave you the actual music so you can see what it looks like on a treble clef staff. You can see which rhythms you need to use. So let's play Mary Had a Little Lamb. To play the beginning, Mary Had a Little Lamb, we have to use the notes E, D, C, D, E, E, E. And here I have all quarter notes, all tas, except this last note here is a half note. So we have to play it for 2 beats. Let's try playing that over here. It looks like to play E, I have to press D on my keyboard. That can be confusing. And then to play D, I have to play S. And then to play C, I have to play A. So just these 3 notes are how you play Mary Had a Little Lamb, at least the first part. That sounds right. If I go ahead and press this play button here, I'm going to try playing Mary Had a Little Lamb, just the first section of it, while I'm listening to a drum beat. Ready, go. Cool. So I thought I was going to play just the first part of Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I got a little too into it. So as you can see, Mary Had a Little Lamb, this is the first song. I think it's probably the least difficult of the 5 songs. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is using more notes. We go up to an A on the piano, the pitch A. We have If You're Happy and You Know It. This one uses an 8th note rhythm. More than that, you can see it says we swing the 8th note rhythm. So what that means is instead of making the 8th notes sound like this, T, 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 we have to make them sound like this, T, 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 T. It's kind of a feeling you would hear if you listen to jazz music. Let me play the first part of If You're Happy and You Know It. Here we have we have 2 C's, that's right here, and then quite a few F's in a row, and then it ends with E, F, G. Let me try playing If You're Happy and You Know It. Let me bring up the tempo for this one too, just because it's a more upbeat song. Maybe you can hear that. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. It's different than if you weren't to swing the 8th notes. If you didn't swing the 8th notes, it would sound like this. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So watch out for that. That can be a little difficult to learn how to play swung 8th notes. And also in If You're Happy and You Know It, we have B flats. B flats are here. You can see it looks like a uppercase B and a lowercase b. The lowercase b is the flat sign in music. Here we have a B flat. To play a B flat, we would use the keyboard note. We would use the keyboard letter U. Nice. Itsy Bitsy Spider also uses 8th notes that are swung. It does have a little more complicated rhythms. It uses quite a few notes. Down here in this red box, we have a low G. So if you're going to play the Itsy Bitsy Spider, the lowest note is a G. You might want to slide this over until a G is your lowest note, like this. And the Itsy Bitsy Spider. So that's the end of the song. And finally, we have Old MacDonald. Old MacDonald has a lot of different notes. It has quite a few different rhythms. It has Taka D right here. We have Taka Demi, and we have Ta Demi here. So we have different rhythms that we're working with. So I'd like to see you try to play one, if not all of these 5 songs. It might take you a couple days to play with that. If you want, feel free to just improvise a cool melody over a sweet drum beat that you think you'd like to share with me. I'd like to see you screencastify yourself playing one of these 5 songs and send it to me at my email address, which is cantosj@isd112.org. I look forward to seeing what you can do. Thanks for checking out MIDI City.